this is just a little bit of an update on my charm casting set because my dear friend Carol sent me, she had bought some charms and she had gotten doubles of some charms and sent them to me to see if I wanted to use them, which is always exciting. My charm set has stayed fairly static. I do have more charms than this. I have a little container full of charms that I've pulled in and out of my system now and again, but this has what you're seeing right here has stayed pretty solid for quite a long time. So I went through and put my core back. So this is a core of Lenormand, so Rider, Clover. The Journey is my ship card. A Castle is my house card. Tree, a Genie Bottle is my smoke card. Snake card. I don't have a coffin. I need to someday find a coffin, but I use a lightning bolt because it's just that sort of split second. That's the end of something. It's just the best at the time that I could come up with. And I forgot to keep looking for a coffin. I have a bouquet here. So far, most of these charms are charms that I either had or found for that. Some of these things are from different little items. The scythe, I have an axe. It cuts, right? It's very similar. I have a rod for the rod and the broom. I have a bird for birds. This is the child card or figure, and this is a little charm bracelet off of my grandmother's. She was into charm bracelets, and she had a big charm bracelet with all kinds of things, and it has my name engraved on it. She had all of the grandkids, and when she passed away, this was given back to me. So that's the child card. I have a fox, although Miss Carol, I think, sent me a fox that I'll probably swap that out with. I don't have a bear. A bear in a coffin, or I forgot that I'm still looking for them, but I do love the stag. It has the same sort of powerful feel for me as the bear. I have a star. I don't have a stork, so I have an airplane, positive movement. I have a dog, a tower. This is a little bead that was on a bracelet I used to have for the garden. I have a little stone for the mountain. This crossroads, you're coming to a crossroads here, is something that was on my father's army uniform. My lights have gone out, but that's okay. I don't have a mouse, but I do have the poison sign. It's eating away at things. Heart. This is a ring, an actual ring that is for my ring card. A book, the letter. I have these silhouettes for the male and the female. I have the lilies, the sun, the moon, actual little key, a fish, the anchor, and the cross. So these are my Lenormand set, and this was really important to me when I first started pulling together charm set years ago. I have several videos about charm casting. But what I love about having a core set of Lenormand is that I can very easily find significators and see what's around them. And so when I'm going to be moving things in and out, I kind of like to do this so that I make sure that I don't remove anything that is of my core. Again, it's been a very long time since I pulled anything out or put anything in. I love having the dice for numbers. I love this little magic ball for that idea of embracing the magical, but also just divination and seeing deeper. I love this acorn for that bit of potential. I really like the handcuffs for things that are bound. I even like the hook, something you're caught on something. The lotus is an important symbol for me. That was an old necklace of mine. Dragons for me are about really, really old and deep wisdom. Kind of ancestral energy for me would be the dragons. Now, I also have the scissors, which could go in the place of the axe, but I use it a little bit different about sort of what you need to actively cut away. I love this mask. That is an awesome. I have a candle. I have a bat. This one I don't feel like I really need so much. I really like this for the active and receptive energy of an I Ching casting coin that I use. So this would be the yang or masculine energy, and this would be the yin, or for me, the yin or the receptive energy. So I like having that. I have the owl. The owl and the dragon are kind of similar, although this is more about clarity and sort of getting above things, whereas this, as I said, has a very much more ancestral feeling for me. I do like the magic wand, although that probably is something that I could pull away. I absolutely love this little hedgehog, and I would never take it away, just out of pure adorableness. I've had this for years and years and years, and I adore it. A defensive, put up your defenses kind of feeling. I really don't need this little bitty ring. I just really love it because it's so tiny. It's that like little hidden treasure that I do like to sometimes look around. Not work. This has a very web feel for me. It's very much tied into everything being connected. The leaf, I'm not sure. Like right now, these three are like, I'll have to think about those. This is for the 5 elements, elemental balance for me. I love this as a change in perspective because it's how I used to read. Again, the spiral is this going inward feeling, which I love. Here we have time. You know, is time of essence or is it not? Same thing with the directions. This is one of my favorite things, and I highly recommend something similar to this if you charm cast, because when you cast, I always am looking for this and seeing what it's pointing to. The crown, I'm not overly feeling it. The hummingbird is for the how fragile and how quick things can be. That's Michael's bird. So those are the things that I have, other than the Lenormand symbols up there. These ones I'm kind of like, not sure if I really have to keep those in for right now. And I don't throw them out. Again, I have a little box and I have all kinds of extra charms that I've tried and taken in and out. So some of these are really large, and I can see using actually more for, see, look at this box. I know my phone's annoying. She sent this box, and I think I need to swap this fox in, because look at that. I love that fox. I do like this fox too. See, I have 2 foxes now. But I'm going to give this one a go because I do really love it. So for right now, I'm going to put that fox in. I saw that and I was very excited. These are a little bit larger, where I feel like I would be more inclined to, like this is a big dragonfly. I'd be more inclined to put these, I think I'll make her a set of meditation beads maybe. But I could see putting these on the end of meditation beads because these are larger. Although I do love the idea of the dream caster for the web. I'd almost be inclined to pull off these feathers and just have that sort of as a web. But it could be interesting to see, do these point to certain things? I might just throw this in and see. That one intrigues me. There's a beautiful tree of life. I would put that on a meditation bead set. And I know my phone is going crazy. Now, I love this bee, and I definitely want this bee in here. Community, hard work, community coming together. No question there. Again, that to me is a little bit large, and so I would probably put that as a charm on meditation beads. Look at these though. Okay, look at the snake. Now, I have never been happy with this snake because it's just ginormous and clunky. This is an awesome snake. So that was really exciting for me to see, because it's the only snake I could find, but it's never been my favorite. So that can come out. Look at this. This is a wolf. Yes, and there is a feather. So this speaks to me for my animal totem energy. The moon is there, the wolf is there, the raven's there. someday Bear will be there. So I love that. Now look at this little ship. I'm almost inclined to put this little canoe, and I've never been fond of the airplane, for the stork, because I think Six of Swords and going off into a better place. I like the journey for my ship card, but I think I'm going to use this little canoe for going off to a better place, like the stork. I quite like that. The turtle is so sweet. I actually have a set. I could see this on a meditation bead. I think the butterfly is amazing, and I thought I had a butterfly because in my notes, because I do have a note, I do keep notes of what I my basic set is, and sort of what I do with the different things that are in here. And what's interesting is that for, let me find it, stork, I actually had butterfly, but that doesn't so much me speak of transformation as movement, and I don't even have a butterfly in here anymore. So I had one. I'll have to look in my other set, but I'm going to add that in for areas of transformation. Ganesh, I don't usually do a whole lot with Ganesh, so I don't think I'm going to put that in right now. I'm going to put that in the pile here, and I'm going to see about the sea turtle, because this makes me feel like, you know, this could also be for the stork too. I don't know, there's something here, and I'm going to see what it starts to come up for. But it has that watery energy of finding your emotional path, that grace and that beauty when you think of sea turtle. So I'm going to put that in for right now, because why not? Because I can. So I'm going to put these, I'll put them in with my other ones, but I'm just going to stick them in here right now so I don't lose them. So every great once in a while, I haven't done this in a while, so it was such a nice treat. I'm going to take a picture of these just so I have them. So yeah, there's my thinking. So I'm going to take all of these now. Beautiful, beautiful. I keep them in this, you can get these at craft stores. It's like a cardboard. I tried, before I landed on this, I tried all kinds of things. But I didn't like glass jars and things because they were so loud when you shook them up. I tried various things, and I really love this because A, it's a nice size to give it a good shake. It's also a good size for just getting your hand into. So I can just grab a handful and cast that handful. So this to me ended up being absolutely perfect. And so yeah, it sits right over here. You can't see it, but it sits right there. I'm ready to grab things from. So I wanted to put now that I have my most favorite ever thing to cast on. And again, you can make this easily, right? Get a piece of fabric, I still need to try my elemental one. I never did try to make it yet. I still have it, I just haven't done it yet. Probably because I've just been using this so much, because I love it. So what I like about casting cloths for any type of casting system is that it gives you some structure, right? It's almost like having a spread for tarot. So I have fire, air, water, and earth. I can do sort of inner to outer. There's a lot of different, mostly I'm doing the 4 elements. So you can cast the whole thing. I have a lot of charms. I do still sometimes cast them, and all I do is pay attention to groupings. I don't read every single one. But a great thing to do is just to sort of mix them up. You know, what do I need to hear right now? What do I need to pay attention to? Don't be watching them. Stick them in a bag if you need to do so. You know, stir them up, grab a handful, right? But you're not done. You still want to give them that shake, 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 shake. Give them a nice toss so that they have movement and flow, right? And then you can start to read these, right? So in the position of fire, which is our creativity and our transformative energy, we have the number 5, which is a shake-up number. There's a lot of energy that's moving around and shifting. And to pay attention to that, what's interesting is that we have the mask, but the mask is face down, which means that in this moment when energy, creative energy, is so in flux with the number 5, that there is probably a sense of vulnerability from that, putting creative energy out there when it doesn't feel super stable, when it's kind of that, there is a sense of vulnerability. Whereas if the mask was face up, that would be a little bit more like wearing a mask, but because it's face down, the mask for me is off. And so it could feel a little bit vulnerable. In the position of air or the mind, here is thoughts of love. Again, face down. You can read face down, and everything's up to you and how you choose to read things. I tend to read it as being, sometimes this tells me a sense of vulnerability is a good thing, right? To not have a mask on. Sometimes it means that needs to be worked out. There's some blockage there regarding connections. Definitely with the 4 elements, that could face down, that could be an idea of things being a little bit out of balance in the mental sphere. I love the acorn is sort of what is the seed that needs to be planted, and what's being pointed to is exactly on this line between air and water. And so bringing together the heart and the mind in unity is the seed that needs to be planted right now. Again, I absolutely love this arrow. Things over here you could either choose to count or say that they are off the board. Depending on how many charms you pull, you may just take what's within the circle, or you may take what's in the square and say these are, out. They're not in the center of things. They're out there. I love that the sea turtle showed up in the water. Again, it helps to have a question. I'm just kind of showing you what I would do with these. But this idea of movement and flow and finding perhaps your way back home in an emotional sense, you could look at that there. A sense of security with the house and the castle being face down is perhaps needed to be worked on, because perhaps that sense of security isn't there. And same thing with the intuition. It's far out from the center of things and not really listening to our instincts, listening to our intuition may be a problem. So I would look at those and how far they are away to sort of help to define things. Now I always look at what's in the center. We have the rider. So good news is coming. There's some things, perhaps some ties that need to be cut in some way. And abundance and good luck and good fortune with the bouquet is coming, but it's not quite here yet. But it's something that's really integral. But that energy isn't fully manifested itself. So you see, you can kind of go through and use the sorry, Siri keeps thinking I'm talking to her. You can use the positions in the spread or on the casting cloth, or just, again, you can just get a piece of paper. I'm a big fan, which I've just used this in other videos, so I thought I'd try to do the different. But getting something like this and just drawing a line straight down the middle can give you that same 4 elements. This is so simple to do in a variety of different ways. And yeah, you would do your full reading this way. I mean, charm casting is amazing. Again, the other thing you could do is have a plain, no casting, cast them all down, and then what I do is I go find the anchor if I want to see what's clumped around the work card. I'll go find the woman card and find what is around there. I'll go find the ancestor and see what is around there. And so I'm not reading every single one of them. I am just honing in on significators, much like you do with a Lenormand Grand Tableau. And then the other thing you can obviously do is to pull some cards and then cast on top of it, right? Or just pull some random ones. So, just grabbing some. So you might lay out 3 tarot cards and do your tarot reading, and then grab a little handful, shake them up, and sort of cast out either onto the cards themselves or with the cards, and have that as an additional part of your reading. So yeah, just charms are fantastic because it's this wonderful magpie energy, right, where you can go around and collect them. I really, if you work with Lenormand, I would highly recommend getting a base set around Lenormand. And what I did is I literally just wrote them all out like in something in my purse. And so every time I would go somewhere where there were charms, I would look for that. You know, I'd have marked in what I already had. Look around your house. You know, like I showed you, a lot of those things were things that I just had sitting around the house or in little odd places and things of that nature. And start to fill that in. But if you have a space for something like Lenormand, it brings some structure and it brings those significators so that you can like literally take your whole shebang. And you don't have to have as many as I do. Mine go in flux, but there's generally about 50 to 55. Cast them all out, right? And then go on the hunt. It's a puzzle. It's so wonderful. So here, for example, I like to look to see the dragon to see, okay, let's see about my the energy of, for maybe a message from my ancestors. And we have the rider. So this is a good message, right? About the sense of community and connection maybe is going to get me over any blockages with the mountain card. You know, I love that the hummingbird is crooked up right next to the ancestor card. That is a little sweet message to me that Michael is, you know, he's being cared for and his energy is all bound up and together with my ancestors and being cared for and all those kinds of things, right? We have the snake that is face down. So the snake for me is about things being complicated, but moving towards transformation. But when it's face down, maybe it's not so complicated as I might. Things aren't quite so complicated. And I follow that line and look what it points to. My animal totems here, that animal spirits that help me to see fresh perspectives. I love how this, I just got this one as you just saw. So I like how there's actually things tangled up in this web. Right, we actually have this candle tangled up in the web. The this looks like it's coming off of it. This leads to this. Clumps and clusters like that are something that I love to disentangle, such as having the garden within the ring. What, you know, what could that mean? And sort of sussing that out is something I absolutely love. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. We have a lot of dynamic energy that's going on. I might find my card itself. Let's see, or my figure. That is the boy card. Where is, so then it becomes the hunt for, or there she is right in the middle with the clover card, the house card upright, all things being connected to perspective, and my animal spirit. So I would kind of follow trails along. So you don't have to read every single thing that you throw down. When you have a nice core of significators, you can just hone in on the areas that you either want to. So if you want to look at work, okay, let's look at the cards that feel, the figures that look like they are connected to the work card. If I want to find my way to a better place with the stork, what are the cards that are, the figures that are clumped around that, and just read those. There's nothing that says that you have to disentangle every single one of these and them have a message. It's like tea leaf reading. It's like coffee ground readings. You're looking for symbols to pop up and say, okay, pay attention to me. Clusters, lines, things like that to follow. It's amazing. It really is a beautiful, beautiful form of divination. And I highly, highly recommend, because it's, you know, you don't have to buy this all at once. Start with your 36 core. Again, I'm pushing that because I do feel like it brings some structure. I can go find work. I can go find romance or relationships with love with the heart. I can look at strong relationships with the ring. I can look at the tower here, where do I need to gain perspective with that? You know, I can literally go to all of these different things that I'm used to going to. Go to the letter for a message, which is way out here. Go to the book. What is it that I need to learn to maybe put my roots deep and pay attention to my own sense of health and well-being, so on and so forth. I can go to specific significators when I have that base built in, is why I really recommend people do something similar to that. So again, I just had these out because I wanted to swap in these new charms, and I thought we just have a little refresher on charms. And I'll try to remember to put a link to my other videos on charm casting if that is something that you are interested in.